This is chapter number 2. We are talking about land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife resources. Water. Water again is a very vital natural resource. Though it is renewable, that means it is not going to go away. But there are certain things we need to understand. First of all, if you take globe like this, 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered with water. That is why this is a blue planet. If we see it from far away, it will be water planet or blue planet because 3/4 is water. And if you are aware that life started from oceans only, the primitive ocean, that life began almost 3.5 billion years back, and we have all come from water only. The ocean water or ocean cover 2/3 of the Earth's surface, and there are various flora and fauna, that is aquatic plant and animal life. But the ocean water is saline, that is, it has all the salts and minerals in it, so we cannot drink it. It is not fit for human consumption. Fresh water is only 2.7%, and 70% of this 2.7% occurs as ice sheet and glaciers in the higher latitude areas, that is, these areas where the sunlight is almost zero. So fresh water accounts for only 2.7%, and nearly 70%, means 70% of this, 70 by 100 of this occurs as ice sheet and glaciers in Antarctica and Greenland, Arctic and mountain regions, because these regions are inaccessible by human also and by sunlight also. So only 1% of the fresh water is available. This is only what is available. If in 100% of water which is available for us around the globe, only 1% is fit for our consumption. And you find this 1%, if this is our earth crust, below the earth crust, like the groundwater, the surface water as rivers and lakes, and also in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. So only water which we can drink is not in the form, in 1%, only that water which we can drink is not in this form. It is it is below the ground, it is above the ground, right? So fresh water is very precious then. Water, if water is say this much amount, you cannot add anything into it, and you cannot subtract, neither you can add nor subtract anything in the water, because it is constant. We can only say that it is water planet, that is, the abundance is there. But because the water is proper in motion, it changes its form because of evaporation, precipitation and runoff. This is known as water cycle. Water cycle was what? Say this is a river or sea, then because of evaporation, water forms gaseous state, and then it forms the clouds, and when these clouds, they precipitate, and then because of, if they are getting heavy or there are mountains, they cause rain, and because of the pressure areas, etc., and these rains, they are brought back to the ocean. They bring back this water to the ocean. So this is the water cycle. And in 1975, the consumption of water for human in 1975 was 3850 cubic kilometer per year. But in 2000 year only in 25 years, it has increased to whopping 6006,000 cubic kilometer per year. That is 2250 cubic kilometer per year we have started consuming more. If we have a, say, tap, if this is a tap, then the dripping water, one tap dripping water waste is around 1200 liters a year. That's a very big number. So we use water in various forms. We use it for drinking, we use it for cooking, bathing, flushing, washing clothes, washing utensils, gardening and whatnot. Even, washing our cars. So water is very important for agriculture, industries, in order to generate electricity. We use dams for that. Because of the increasing population, there is a rise in demand for food, cash crops, urbanization is so much, and the standards of living are also getting higher. We are facing the supply of fresh water. Why? Because of drying up of water resources, or because water which is available is already polluted, it is contaminated. Have you ever heard about a water market? I'll just give you an idea. Amreli city in Saurashtra region, it has a population of 1.25 lakhs. And this population is completely dependent on purchasing water from the nearby talukas. Means they don't have water, they drink water, they use water by purchasing it, buying it. You can see the gravity of the situation. So there are problems of water availability. There are scarcity, mostly in this part, if you take a globe, mostly in the central region, means equator and these areas, there is acute shortage of water. The scarcity of water in many regions, if you see most of Africa, West Asia, and South Asia, part of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, and part of South America, and entire Australia, it's facing shortages of water, of fresh water. We don't save water because water is available, but fresh water to drink, to use. Countries located in climatic zones most susceptible to drought face great problems of water scarcity, as we see always in the news. Now, this water shortage may be of various reasons, because the consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation or the scarcity is caused by overexploitation or contamination of water sources. We were talking about contamination, so see just an example. This is Yamuna getting polluted due to various reasons. You see, sewage, industrial effluents, garbage, all are put in water. And what will happen to this water? Is this suitable for us to use or drink? So we need conservation. We need conservation of water resources. We are facing this problem of clean and adequate water sources. So how to take steps? Water is renewable resource. You cannot deny it. You can argue about that. But when you overuse it, when you pollute it, how will you get fit water for drinking or using? If you see, this is the discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agriculture chemicals, industrial effluents in water body. This is the major contaminants. They pollute water. There are nitrates, metals and pesticides here. So most of these chemicals, they are non-biodegradable. That means they don't mix in the water and ultimately they don't degrade. So you are actually getting it in the body if you use it. Forest and other vegetation cover, they are also slowing the surface runoff, and they are responsible. Means forest and vegetation, if you cut, then there will be surface runoff and there will be no groundwater. But if you see, if there are trees here, what will happen? Water will not, this will slow down. Water will slow down because of the trees, and then water will peep inside and will have a rich amount of underground water. Water harvesting is also a method in order to save the surface runoff. Irrigation of field. The canal should be properly lined to minimize losses of water seepage. And this is an example of a sprinkler. The sprinkler can be used just, leaving the pipe, and pipe is just, you are just sending water through pipe. And there is no point, it is just wasting water. You can use sprinkler. The agriculture people can use sprinkler. Even in some places, drip type irrigation is there. So these are the method which can be adopted, because in dry regions with higher rate of evaporation, this drip we don't put water as a whole. We mostly in Canada, etc., there is a drip technique. Means if the crop are here, only drips are being given in constant time. So rainwater harvesting is a process of collecting rainwater from rooftops. So if you have your house, there is a roof, You can collect the water. You can have a tank here somewhere, below, and just collect this water, cover it so that it doesn't evaporate and it doesn't contaminate it with other things around, and then you can use this water. So one spell of water for 2 hours is enough to save around 8,000 liters of water. So this is also one good method of rainwater harvesting. Then natural vegetation and wildlife. Now some children were visiting exhibition of handicrafts. There are various things collected from different parts of country. Mona picked up a bag and she was thrilled. She exclaimed, "This is a beautiful bag." And the teacher said, "Yes, it is made from jute." And do you see the baskets, lampshades and chairs? They are made up of canes and bamboos. So in eastern and northern eastern humid region of India, bamboo grows in plenty. And Jessie also saw the silk scarf. It was very beautiful. The teacher explained that silk is obtained from these silkworms. This is a silkworm that are bred on mulberry trees. Shahtoot ke ped. Mulberry trees. So the children understood that plants provide us with many different products. Not only just we eat them or we eat the fruits that we know, but there are other things also. There are various things that the plants gives us. So natural vegetation and wildlife, this exists only in a very narrow region which is called biosphere. We have already recalled that lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, where they combine, there is biosphere. And all the living beings in this biosphere, they are interdependent and interrelated for their survival. And the life supporting system is known as ecosystem. So vegetation and wildlife, these are very valuable resources for us. Plant can give us everything, it can give us timber, shelter to animal, oxygen we breathe, protect soil, so essential for, growing crops, shelter belts, act as a shelter belts. It helps in storage of underground water. Give us fruit, nuts, latex, turpentine, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper that is very essential. What you are studying, this is a paper. So there are innumerable. These are, I can't just count them. It's innumerable. That's why plants are so important for us. You see, this is Brahma Kamal, a medicinal herb. Wildlife includes the birds and insects, animals, also the aquatic. What they give us, they are also very helpful. They are important for us. Milk, meat, hides and wools. Insects like bees, they provide us honey. Pollination of flowers, these bees are very important for that. And the birds feed on insect, act as decomposers also. Here is an example of vulture. It's a scavenger. Vulture is a scavenger. It can feed on dead livestock. And this is for cleansing the environment. If vulture is not there, who is going to clean the environment? So animal, whether it is big or small, all are very integral part of the ecosystem, and they maintain the balance of the ecosystem. You see, vultures in the Indian subcontinent were dying of kidney failure. Why? Shortly after scavenging livestock treated with diclofenac. So if a livestock is there, it is being treated with diclofenac or say painkiller like aspirin and ibuprofen. Now they are just eating them and they are getting these diclofenac etc. and they are dying. So the efforts are on to ban the drug for livestock use so that these vultures don't die, because they actually feed on the livestock which are dead. So how is the distribution of natural vegetation? You see, the growth of vegetation depends primarily on the temperature and moisture. These are the very important factors. And we can just categorize them: major vegetation types, forest, grassland, scrubs and tundra. Two of the examples you can see here. This is grassland and this is forest. When there is a heavy rainfall, huge trees may come. The forest, thus associated with these areas, they have very rich supply of water. So the amount of moisture decreases as the size of trees and their density reduces. In the regions of moderate rainfall, short stunted trees, when the rainfall is moderate, I'm not saying very high, very less, moderate, then we have short stunted trees and grass grow, forming the grassland as you see here in the world. But in the dry areas where there is scarcity of water or there is low rainfall, thorny shrubs and scrub grow. So in these areas, plants have deep roots and the leaves are thorny. Why they are thorny and why they are waxy? in order to reduce the loss of moisture by transpiration. Then in tundra vegetation if you go to polar region, cold region, there are mosses and lichens. So forests are broadly classified, as we have already seen, as evergreen and deciduous. So evergreen do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year because water is there, water supply is there, not in very good amount but still there. But deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season. Why? Because there is no water, or they want to conserve the loss of moisture through transpiration. And you can also further classify these forests as tropical and temperate, where they lie, the latitude where they lie, the location. So we have already talked about this. This is a picture of, or a collage made by a school student about the forest. And you see what forest can give us. He has just made few things. You can always add to it. So, there are so many things going on. We are just vanishing forest. And there is an urgent need to conserve this variable resource which we call forest. So here we have loss of rainforest in Great Nicobar after tsunami. So I'm just saying that this is not only us, human beings are destroying the forest. Nature is also responsible. The natural conditions are changing. That's why the things are changing. So forest, conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife, forests are wealth. They plants give shelter to animal. They maintain the ecosystem. And because of our interference and because of the changes in climate, there is a loss of habitats of plants and animals. And there are various species which have become vulnerable. They are actually endangered. Deforestation, soil erosion, construction activities, forest fires, tsunami, if you see here, landslide. These are also some natural and man-made factors which together accelerate the process of extinction of these great natural resources. How beautiful is this black buck? There is so much poking going on, and the animals are poked for collection and illegal trades of their hides, skins, nails, teeth, horns, as well as feathers. Some of the animals like tiger, lion and elephant, deer, black buck, crocodile, rhinoceros, snow leopard, ostrich and peacock, these are almost at the verge of extinction, and these are protected. So you see what happens. What happens when the fire actually goes on. And these are some where there is very heated climate, then the fire catches very easily. So fire, this is an example of California fire. How could it be avoided? Forest fire is threat to entire region for flora and fauna. We just don't care about, we must not care only about ourselves. There are plants also, there are animals also. So there are three reasons. Natural fire due to lightning, it can occur, the fire can occur like this. And fire due to heat generated in the litter due to carelessness of people. People just, they take cigarette and just they throw the bud without even just, caring about what is going to happen if they just throw it in the dry leaves. And they purposely cause fire by local inhabitants. There are certain people who do that. See, it may be because of various reasons, but there are certain control measures. The prevention of human caused fires, you can educate people, you can educate yourself, and there can be awareness. And if fires are detected, then what we can do, there can be well coordinated network of observation points, efficient ground patrolling and communication network. So we can just get rid of, or we can just stop these fires which are natural, and man-made should always be avoided. This is what, we should have some guilt feeling, because we are actually destroying ourselves only. So national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, these are made to protect natural vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of creeks, lake, wetlands is also necessary because we need to save the precious resource from depletion. What we are trying to do here is, due to indiscriminate killing, several birds and animals, they are extinct or on the verge of extinction. We can aware us or people using the One Mahotsav. Children can be educated, they can be taken to zoo to actually show how these animals live, what they are, how they are important to us. And many countries, they have passed law. They have passed law that the trading of the killed animal parts is illegal. In India, killing of lion, tigers, deers, great Indian bustards and peacocks, they are banned. You cannot kill them. See how beautiful this herd of cheetahs are. And let me give you the national park idea. The national area designated to protect the ecological integrity of one or more ecosystems for present and future generation. This is national park. So an international convention, this is CITES, that is CITES, this is the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna. So this has been established, and several countries are there, and they have same idea, same intention, that just prohibit or try to stop what is going on in poaching, and we need to understand that these are very important for us. We have Biosphere Reserves also, series of protected areas linked through a global network intended to demonstrate the relationship between the conservation and development. You see how beautiful these Kaziranga National Park elephants are. So this CITES is an international agreement between governments. What is the aim? The aim is to ensure the international trade in specimens of wildlife or wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. Roughly 5,000 species of animal and 28,000 species of plants are protected. Bears, dolphin, cacti, corals, orchids and aloes, these are all the examples. So this is about all the content of this topic, but the basic idea is that trying to understand all these and trying to conserve is also important. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.